As anyone visiting the MEDICA or exhibiting knows, it's long days on our feet. It's great to be able to sit down, but this chair is actually not a place to relax. It's another piece of applied research from the Fraunhofer Institute here in Germany, an institute well known for continually driving technology in basically all fields. At the MEDICA here, specifically demonstrating their advances in the medical field. Jens, tell us a little bit about your area expertise and what you're here demonstrating.
Yeah, thank you. We were looking at clinical processes and we identified that patient admission is actually a process that takes a lot of expert time where clinicians are basically just documenting. And we looked at this admission process and we identified this is basically informing the patient, getting information from the patient and measuring some vital parameters. And we identified that this could be digitized and could help to make that process more efficient.
And that's what we're looking at here.
Exactly. So we identified there are a lot of digital solutions, let's say a digital questionnaire, but at the end, these solutions are not very often really integrated into the whole workflow. So at the end, you have to either print it out or you have to copy and paste it somewhere. And we said we want to integrate everything in one process. So we built this test bed here, which is a chair with sensors for vital parameters like blood pressure, ECG, respiratory parameters, oxygen saturation, also a balance integrated into this. And all the information that's collected here is directly merged and then sent to the clinician, and also it's sent to the clinic information system so it can be directly used.
And that's the data capture part, but there's also data delivery.
Exactly. We identified that it's important that the patient is led through such a process. Yeah, it doesn't really help to give you a digital questionnaire and then leave you alone with that. So that's why we have an avatar on one side that's leading through the process and is giving you feedback, which is really important for patient empowerment. Also, we have a questionnaire that can be adapted to the actual disease that you have. Yeah.
And like I said in the introduction, very well known Fraunhofer for applied research. What's the status of this? Is this a product? Just what's the background on it?
So it's not a product in a way that we'd sell it to a hospital. It is, as I said, a test bed. So we are starting a clinical trial in the University Clinic of Mannheim with the clinicians. So it's an interdisciplinary consortium working there. And we are open for companies that say we have a digital solution, but we want to integrate it into the workflow to really let it shine, to really make it work. And that's actually the purpose of this, to be like a real life laboratory to test sensors in a real clinical setting.
That's fascinating and obviously very advantageous, especially in time-strapped institutions where patient, when they enter and that data capture is so cumbersome. Thanks for providing the solution and joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great. And moving on here, there's a lot to see, as always, at Fraunhofer. And as I said, it's applied research. We're looking for solutions to actual problems. In that respect, here we are speaking about lab automation. Kai, tell us a little bit about the background of your division and what you develop.
Yeah, sure. So in general, we work in the field of laboratory automation, especially for the production of biological and medical products. And for example, here we have a little miniature production plant for mesenchymal stem cells. And the approach we are going with this is taking different devices which are commercially available on the market and connect them with our software and create one large, fully automated production platform. And one device, which we are also showing here at the MEDICA, is our high-speed microscope, which allows super fast and super precise quality control of cells.
And I believe that, Judith, you were involved in the development of this. Can you tell us the details about kind of its development and what problems or what issues it's solving?
Yeah, so basically when taking biological protocols for manual production of such biological materials for ATMPs, we experience quite a lot of bottlenecks and variability in the quality. So what we are doing when translating such protocols into automated processes or workflows, we are looking at which bottlenecks we do interface or which optimization potentials there are. And from there on, we develop stations which can translate all of the workflow into an automated process chain that can reach a higher and more constant quality of the product as well.
Now, just in general, is this a solution that is being developed due to COVID, or was this something that was already had a lot of motivation to be developed before we were doing all this processing of just millions and millions of samples?
Such production plants actually have a lot of purpose also beside of COVID. One big use case we are addressing with this is, for example, the production of ATMPs, which are new therapeutical medicinal products. And also one big use case we are addressing is the production of implants, for example, joint implants.
Great. So actual solutions to ongoing issues within the medical field. Kai and Jutta, thank you very much for joining us. And continuing to move on here, finally, we're speaking to Anna. It caught my eye as we were coming in. We're talking about patient monitoring here. What is Fraunhofer bringing to this field?
Yeah, we develop telemedical feedback and assistance systems for digital support in the context of therapy, for example, in aftercare or follow-up treatments.
And how does it actually benefit the patient? There's a lot of solutions, but from a patient's perspective, what's the added value?
We have with our quantified health system, for example, not only a monitoring tool, we also integrate the physicians, the medical professionalities, because we have the communication in both directions.
And how does the system work? Am I correct in saying it's data capture through the armband?
Yeah, our quantified health system is a digital assistant for everyday life for patients from the area cardiology, orthopedics and oncology. And it is a sensor-based mobile feedback and assistance systems to support safety in everyday life. Imagine you are returning back into your everyday life after an inpatient stay due to, for example, a heart attack or a broken leg. And you have inhibitions about putting normal strain on yourself again. Our system assists you to getting back into an adequate level of stress in everyday life. By providing health and activity data and motivating the patients to make a health-promoting lifestyle change. Keywords are here self-regulation and self-management. On the other hand, built-in functionalities integrate the medical professionals by making the data available for viewing, and on the basis of which physicians can deliver individual activity recommendations to the patients. And they can set individual maximum thresholds for vital signs for every patient. That means we have application for both sides, for the physicians and also for the patients. And the applications use shared databases so that in the application the same data are available. And as data sources, we use different variables, standard components like that small variable, or here we have a Smartwatch, which is more expensive, that's such a kind of component. And in our project, we are also evaluating whether such components can be used also in the medical area and not only in the consumer space.
Fantastic. So it's really not only a capture, but also an outbound communication to the wearer of the device, the user of the system. Anna, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you again. Thank you too.
So as you can see, this actual problem solving at the Fraunhofer, they're not just doing theoretical research, they're confronting actual ongoing problems in the medical field. And as you can see behind me, the Fraunhofer is always full of individual applications solving these problems. And the booths throughout the MEDICA are absolutely full every year with these individual solutions. Come down and give it a look for yourself. There's plenty to see, and we hope you reach out to us here in Düsseldorf at the MEDICA 2022. Thanks for joining us.